All right, everybody, what I'm going to cover in this video today are two types of graphs that you are going to see on your final. On your final, you will have two of each of these types of graphs on your final. The first one works with slope-intercept form. And the slope-intercept form is, as you probably remember, y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. So, when you are graphing something in y equals mx plus b form, you want to be able to identify, first of all, the slope, which in this case is 7/2, and the y-intercept, which in this case is -2. How to graph this? Number one, graph the y-intercept with a point. So in this case it's -2. So you will put a point right on -2. That's going to be one of the points that we use. Now, for the slope, if you remember from slope, it's rise over run, meaning this number up at the top will let you go up or down depending if it's positive or negative, and then this will run positively or negatively across. So from this point that we graphed, our y-intercept, we will rise 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which brings us right to there. And then it runs 2 positive over to here. So there we have now rise and run to that point, and from there you can graph your line. And that will let you do it during the slope-intercept form. So for slope-intercept, step 1, plot the y-intercept. Step 2, do your rise. Step 3, do your run. Connect the dots. Okay? So that is how we graph with the slope-intercept form. Now, sometimes the equation of the line is in standard form. And that means the x and the y are on the same side. X here, y there. Some people will try to put this into slope-intercept form. Take away 7x. And try to do that. If you can do it and it's able to work, I don't mind you doing it. It's a lot harder though. Here is the easy strategy to get 2 points with standard form. X equals 0 and y equals 0. Substitute x equals 0 and y equals 0. Now, this is number 1 on your final review that you have. You had the other day a review, part 2, and then on the back has some graphing lines. This is number 1 on the back. What we do with standard form is substitute into the equation for x equals 0 and y equals 0, because the line will cross each of these axes somewhere. So x is equal to 0. Put that in right here. So 7 times 0 plus y equals 5. 7 times 0 is 0, so y equals 5. So here's our coordinates for this point. 0, 5. X is 0, y is 5. And I can plot that right here. 0, 5. And there's that point. So what do we do if y is equal to 0? 7x plus 0 equals 5. 7x equals 5. X equals 5/7. Divide both sides. Don't get intimidated if you see a fraction. Some of you like to get intimidated. You see a fraction. You're unsure, immediately unsure what to do. So if y is 0 and x is 5/7, there is our point. There's our x, there's our y. Y was 0, x is 5/7. So that's right here. That's a little more than half. Folks, we're approximating this. 5/7 is more than half. It goes about right there because it's not 1. So it's a little less. Anywhere in here is honestly fine. And then we play connect the dots again, and that is our graph. So, this is how we would graph with standard form, by substituting in x is 0 and y is 0, and we'll get a point on each axis. So this is number 1 on the back side of your paper. This is our slope-intercept form with the rise and run and the y-intercept. Okay? Those are the 2 really important things you need to know for graphing. And like I said, you're going to have 4 problems. 2 of these on your final, which will be important that you be able to graph them that way. All right? Meg, any questions for me on this?